The full-size truck market has reached a critical inflection point, fundamentally shifting away from a simple, brute, force competition of maximum towing capacities and payload numbers into a highly complex war of lifestyle positioning, technological integration, and niche specialization. For years, buyers have been forced to accept a fundamental and frustrating compromise. You could have a truck that excels at high-speed desert running, or you could have one that tows a heavy camper without sagging dangerously. But you could rarely have both without sacrificing daily drivability, fuel efficiency, or financial sanity. The modern automotive landscape is demanding a vehicle that bridges this gap seamlessly, offering genuine utility without punishing the driver on a daily commute. The upcoming 2027 Toyota Tundra represents one of the most critical strategic pivots in the Japanese automaker's recent history, because it forces Toyota to confront the reality that being merely reliable and capable is no longer enough to win the hearts and wallets of modern truck buyers. This is not just about adding a new grille or a fresh coat of paint to an aging platform. It is a calculated, data-driven response to a market that is demanding more refinement, more intelligent hybrid integration, and genuine, usable off-road hardware without the traditional penalties of compromised ride quality or astronomical depreciation. Welcome to Auto Insights, where we go beyond the surface to break down cars, strategies, and what they really mean for buyers. If you want deeper understanding without the noise, make sure you're subscribed. Before we dissect the engineering and the market strategy, we need to establish exactly what this vehicle is and separate confirmed industry reality from the endless speculation that plagues the truck community. The 2027 Toyota Tundra mid-cycle refresh is officially confirmed, aligning perfectly with Toyota's standard 5-year product cadence for the TNGAF platform. This means the core architecture, the fundamental powertrain options, and the overall silhouette are locked in and moving toward production, with vehicles expected to begin arriving at dealerships in the fall. However, because this is a mid-cycle update, much of the specific tuning, final trim pricing, and exact feature distribution for the highest-end variants is still being finalized based on recent press releases, supply chain leaks, and internal dealership communications. I want to be completely direct and honest with you. If you have been reading internet forums claiming that Toyota is abandoning the twin-turbo V6 to bring back the old 5.7-liter V8, you are looking at wishful thinking, not engineering reality. Global emission standards and Toyota's corporate leadership have firmly moved away from large, displacement, naturally aspirated engines. Furthermore, while the new Trail Hunter package being offered on the lower SR5 trim and the heavily rumored wide-body performance variants are supported by credible insider reports and trademark filings, they remain in the realm of high-confidence expectation rather than official, stamped press releases detailing every single specification. Acknowledging this distinction is crucial, as it allows us to analyze the strategic intent behind these expected features and understand what Toyota must do to succeed, without falling into the trap of treating unverified horsepower claims as absolute, guaranteed fact. Let us move into the design direction, because the exterior updates for the 2027 Tundra are not just about keeping the truck looking fresh. They are a direct response to market trends and a necessary correction to the vehicle's visual identity. When the current generation Tundra launched in 2022, it featured a polarizing, highly aggressive front fascia that attempted to mimic the massive, oversized grilles of its American competitors. In doing so, it aged poorly and created a visual gap compared to the more cohesive, mature designs of the Ford F-150 and the Ram 1500. For 2027, Toyota is pulling back from that extreme aesthetic and aligning the Tundra with the cleaner, more horizontal, and technically sophisticated design language recently introduced on the Tacoma and Sequoia. You will see a reshaped, hexagonal, themed grille that integrates more seamlessly with swept-back, high-intensity LED matrix headlights. The lower front bumper geometry has been squared off and tucked in, removing the controversial mustache bar of the previous years, which improves both aerodynamic efficiency and cooling for the hybrid powertrain. This design evolution matters because it signals to the market that Toyota is no longer trying to shout over the American brands with sheer visual volume. Instead, they are projecting a mature, engineered confidence that appeals to buyers who want a truck that looks undeniably capable on a job site, but also feels refined enough to park in front of a corporate office without looking out of place. Furthermore, the introduction of exclusive, vibrant new colors for the TRD Pro, such as the newly announced honeycomb gold-yellow hue, is a deliberate strategy to maintain the halo status of the performance trim, ensuring it stands out in a sea of white. black, and gray fleet vehicles and retains its collector appeal. The most critical conversation surrounding the 2027 Tundra, however, takes place under the hood, and we must address the elephant in the room immediately regarding reliability. When Toyota dropped the V8 in 2022, early issues, specifically a machining defect that led to debris or swarf inside the twin-turbo V6, raised legitimate questions about long-term reliability. For buyers making a significant investment, that history was a reasonable concern, and the subsequent recalls were a major blow to the truck's reputation. But Toyota has spent the years since actively working through it. Multiple production cycles have refined the engine, and the investigation concluded that the main bearing was the primary point of failure. Toyota has physically increased the bearing clearances, improved the cleaning and manufacturing processes at both the Japan and Alabama plants to eliminate swarf, and implemented software monitoring to catch future anomalies early. The data now supports this fix. NHTSA complaint volumes and owner reports of engine failures for 2025 and 2026 models have plummeted dramatically, indicating that the root cause has been effectively addressed. In its standard IFRC tune, this refined 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6 delivers a highly usable 389 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. But the real story, and the true strategic advantage, is the IFRC Max hybrid system, which pairs this V6 with an electric motor integrated directly into the bell housing of the 10-speed automatic transmission. This is not a hybrid system designed primarily for fuel economy, though it does improve efficiency. It is a torque fill strategy. The electric motor delivers instant, massive torque at 0 RPM, which completely eliminates the turbo lag that traditionally plagues small, displacement, forced induction engines. This means immediate, predictable throttle response when climbing loose rock, accelerating out of a desert corner, or merging onto a highway with a loaded trailer. Are you willing to trust the revised V6? Or does the early history still make you hesitate? For the vast majority of objective buyers, the data suggests the fix is permanent, making the hybrid a massive advantage. Understanding the physical footprint and specifications of the 2027 Tundra is essential because it dictates how the truck fits into your life, your garage, and your daily routines. Built on the rigid, high-strength steel TNGAF platform, the Tundra maintains its core dimensions, offering 2 primary cab configurations and multiple bed lengths to cover the vast majority of buyer needs. The CrewMax cab, which features a full 4-door layout, remains the overwhelming favorite for families and daily drivers, prioritizing interior volume and rear seat comfort, and is typically paired with a 5.5-foot or 6.5-foot bed on hybrid models. The double cab configuration, with its smaller rear-hinged doors, caters specifically to commercial users and traditionalists who prioritize cargo space over rear passenger luxury. Here is a critical detail that many buyers miss. The base SR and SR5 trims are the only configurations in the entire 2027 lineup that offer the double cab paired with a full 8-foot bed. That combination disappears completely as you move up the trim ladder. For any contractor who regularly hauls long materials, lumber, or piping, that specific configuration matters far more than any infotainment screen or leather seat. The truck utilizes a fully boxed frame and an independent front suspension with double wishbones, which provides the precise steering feel and wheel articulation necessary for both high-speed highway stability and serious off-road geometry. Most importantly, the retention of the coil spring rear suspension remains a massive, understated advantage. Unlike the traditional leaf springs found on most American competitors, which prioritize maximum load capacity at the severe expense of ride quality, coil springs reduce unsprung weight. This results in a dramatically smoother, more composed ride whether the bed is empty or loaded, and allows for greater wheel articulation off-road, keeping the tires planted on uneven surfaces for maximum traction. Stepping inside the 2027 Tundra reveals an interior strategy that heavily prioritizes tactile usability, durability, and modern connectivity over flashy, gimmicky technology. Toyota has recognized that truck buyers, even those purchasing high-end luxury trims, spend a significant amount of time in environments where gloves are worn, screens get covered in dust, and physical feedback is necessary. The centerpiece is the now standard 14-inch infotainment touchscreen across most trims, which is mounted high and angled toward the driver to minimize glare and reduce the need to take your eyes off the road. Crucially, unlike some competitors that have deleted every physical button in the name of minimalism, Toyota has retained crucial climate and audio controls on a dedicated lower panel. This ensures that you can adjust the fan speed or change the temperature without navigating through 3 layers of digital menus while driving over a rough construction site. The updated Toyota Audio Multimedia System now features 5G connectivity, a faster processor, and an enhanced "Hey Toyota" voice assistant, directly addressing the lag and frustration of previous software generations. Furthermore, the addition of a built-in dashcam or drive recorder is a massive, practical win. It can record 20 to 30-second clips automatically during an incident or on demand, using the truck's existing panoramic view camera network, which is invaluable for both insurance purposes and documenting off-road trails without an ugly suction cup device ruining your windshield view. Additionally, Toyota has finally fixed the infuriating remote start issue. With the new Toyota Safety Sense 4.0 software, the engine now stays running when you open the door, a massive quality of life improvement for those living in extreme climates. The materials range from highly durable, wipe-clean surfaces in the work trims to genuine American walnut wood accents and available isodynamic seats in the upper tiers, which actively adjust to keep the driver stable during aggressive off-road maneuvers, ensuring that every price point feels intentional. One of the most fascinating strategic moves for 2027 is the positioning of the new Trail Hunter package. By offering this comprehensive overlanding setup on the accessible SR5 trim, Toyota is completely disrupting the value proposition of the segment. The Trail Hunter includes Michelin LTX trail tires on 18-inch bronze wheels, Old Man Emu suspension components, front recovery hooks, a locking rear differential, crawl control, and multi-terrain select. The choice of 18-inch wheels is highly deliberate, as the taller sidewall absorbs off-road impacts far better than the low-profile tires found on 20-inch luxury wheels. Historically, you had to buy the absolute top-tier TRD Pro to get this level of factory capability. By moving it down the ladder, Toyota is offering a genuine, warranted off-road package for tens of thousands of dollars less than the competition. When you compare this to a Ford F-150 Tremor, which sits near $65,000, the Tundra SR5 Trail Hunter represents a staggering value, provided Toyota can keep the final MSRP near the projected $50,000 to $55,000 range. Do you think Toyota is making the right move by democratizing off-road capability, or does this risk cannibalizing sales of their higher-margin TRD Pro models? For the TRD Pro itself, 2027 brings newly tuned Fox QS3 adjustable shocks, allowing manual damping adjustments for different terrains, red toe hooks, and the striking honeycomb paint, cementing its status as the ultimate trail king. When we analyze the expected pricing and launch timeline for the 2027 Tundra, we see a clear strategy of capturing margin at the top end while defending the base of the market. Production is expected to ramp up in late 2026 with vehicles hitting dealer lots shortly after. Pricing will likely start around $43,500 to $45,000 for the base SR, making it an incredibly compelling alternative for fleet buyers and budget-conscious consumers who need legitimate towing capability without paying for features they will never use. However, as you climb the ladder, the prices increase aggressively. The SR5 becomes the volume seller by adding critical features like tow haul mode and an integrated trailer brake controller. The limited trim, starting around $55,000, is where the i-4 Max Hybrid becomes widely available, representing the absolute sweet spot of value, performance, and comfort in the entire lineup. As you move into the Platinum and the Western Theme 1794 edition, prices hover around $64,000 to $65,000, offering distinct personality choices, with the 1794 edition uniquely offering messaging front seats. The ultra-luxury capstone will push past $80,000, featuring noise, reducing glass and power, deploying running boards. The question you have to ask yourself is whether this pricing structure makes sense for your specific needs, or if you are being tempted into paying for a trim level whose extreme capabilities or luxury features you will rarely utilize on paved suburban streets. To truly understand the value of the 2027 Tundra, we have to look at the competitive landscape, which is more fractured and aggressive than ever before. The Ford F-150 remains the sales leader and the benchmark for technological integration, offering a dizzying array of powertrain options, including the Power Boost Hybrid and the high-output V6 in the Raptor, making it the default choice for buyers who want maximum variety and cutting-edge tech. Though it has faced ongoing questions about long-term reliability and complex transmission quirks, the Chevrolet Silverado is undergoing its own major evolution, leaning heavily into traditional V8 appeal and a more aggressive, truck-like aesthetic to win back buyers who feel the F-150 has become too car-like, but it often sacrifices interior refinement and fuel efficiency in its lower trims. The Ram 1500 continues to set the standard for interior luxury and ride quality, leveraging its available air suspension to create a cabin experience that feels a class above the competition, making it the ideal choice for buyers who prioritize comfort and daily drivability above all else. Though its high-performance future is uncertain as the Hellcat engine is phased out, In this environment, the 2027 Tundra's greatest strength is its holistic balance. It may not have the sheer tech variety of the Ford, the traditional V8 nostalgia of the Chevy, or the absolute ride softness of the Ram, but it offers a unique combination of legendary long-term reliability, class, leading off-road pedigree, and a hybrid powertrain that actually makes sense for heavy work. It is the truck for the buyer who is tired of the compromises made by the Detroit 3 and wants a machine that will easily surpass 200,000 miles with basic maintenance. Despite the impressive updates, the 2027 Tundra faces some very real strategic risks and market pressures that could impact its success. The most significant challenge is the sheer complexity of the top-end trim lineup and the potential for internal cannibalization. By offering so many highly specialized off-road and luxury variants, Toyota risks alienating its core demographic of budget-conscious, utilitarian buyers who originally made the Tundra a legend. If the pricing gap between a well-equipped SR5 and a fully loaded TRD Pro becomes too vast, buyers may simply opt to stretch their budget for a base model full-size truck from a domestic brand or downsize to a more affordable mid-size option. Furthermore, while the mechanical V6 issues appear resolved, the perception of reliability is fragile. One high-profile failure in a new model year could reignite old fears, meaning Toyota's quality control must be absolutely flawless. Additionally, the heavy reliance on the hybrid system exposes Toyota to supply chain vulnerabilities regarding battery materials and electric motor production. This could lead to long wait times and restricted availability for the most desirable configurations, repeating the allocation frustrations and dealer markups seen with recent TRD Pro releases. Toyota must carefully manage this brand perception, ensuring that the Tundra remains grounded in its core identity of durability and value, even as it pushes into the premium lifestyle space. Ultimately, the 2027 Toyota Tundra is a masterclass in strategic refinement, taking a fundamentally excellent platform and sharpening it to meet the diverse, often contradictory demands of the modern truck market. It is a vehicle that respects its utilitarian roots, while confidently embracing the future of electrified powertrains and specialized lifestyle design. For the buyer who needs a dependable daily workhorse, the base trims offer unmatched value and capability. For the family seeking a comfortable daily driver, the upper luxury trims provide a refined, quiet, and tech-rich environment. And for the enthusiast demanding extreme off-road performance, the updated TRD Pro and the accessible Trail Hunter deliver factory-built solutions that previously required massive aftermarket investments. It is not a perfect truck for every single person, but it is a highly intelligent, deeply considered machine that offers a distinct and valuable alternative to the American status quo. If you value long-term reliability, innovative hybrid torque, and genuine off-road engineering over flashy gimmicks, the 2027 Tundra is absolutely worth your serious consideration and the wait. What do you think about Toyota's strategy of expanding the trim lineup with specialized packages like the Trail Hunter? And do you believe the refined hybrid powertrain is the right path for the future of full-size trucks? Subscribe to Auto Insights if you want deeper breakdowns, real analysis, and a clearer understanding of where the automotive market is heading. Thanks for watching Auto Insights. See you in the next one.